Hi there. This is the continuation of the previous lecture. We are basically, doing the C programming tutorial. It's one of the videos in a whole bunch of sequence of videos to cover all the topics of C programming language. And this particular lecture is basically the continuation of the previous lecture. Where we are trying to introduce you to C programming. Okay, so what we were talking about was compilers and interpreters, and as I mentioned before, intermediate, what computer understands is simply just the machine language. That's all it understands right here. What we need, but the programs, we cannot write programs in machine language because it consists of numbers, and it's very hard for us to read the numbers and write the numbers. For example, if I have to add two numbers, I have to write a code to basically that says that add and then provide two numbers. So the code itself will be in numbers. So it's like full of numbers. So it's hard to handle. Anyway, so we write the programs in high-level languages or intermediate-level languages, and many of us write programs in assembly language also. In either case, what we need to do first is convert those programs into machine language so that the computer can understand and execute those programs. And there are two types of softwares which actually help us do that, and one is the compilers. Compilers basically what they do is they convert the whole program into machine language. Interpreters, on the other hand, they convert one line of the program at a time into machine language and then execute that line. So this was the introduction to these different types of languages. Now we have been talking about compilers. We downloaded the compiler, we installed the compiler, we did this with the compiler. So this is what compiler means. So we will be writing a program in C language here in this window right here, just like this one right here. This is how a C program would look like, and there is a built-in compiler here in this software that we are running. This dev C++, which will basically convert this into a machine language program, equivalent machine language program, or into machine code, as we say, and so that the computer can execute it. Computer cannot execute this program the way it is written like this. It will basically have to be converted into machine language program before the computer can understand. Anyway, so this window that we are seeing here is called editor. And this software is called Integrated Development Environment because it has all the different aspects of development, of computer program development, is being integrated into this one software. For example, inside the software you can write the program itself, and it has, as I said, it has built-in compiler. It will compile that program, which means it will convert it into machine codes so that the computer can execute it. And it also has something called debugger, which basically helps us if there is some kind of problem in the program. It will help us try to find out what the problem is. We'll talk about debuggers later, but for now, look at this. This is the editor part of it, where you can basically write the program, the C program. And as soon as we created the project, the computer, the software basically created this small program for us. It's a sample C program. It's a very simple program, and first thing I'll do is basically I'll make some little modification for us to understand it a little bit better, without worrying about what I am doing here. I would also suggest you to basically make these changes, or you don't have to really do that, but at least I'll be doing it every time. So we will for now ignore all these lines that are written on this screen, just because we don't have knowledge at this point to basically understand what they mean. So we'll just ignore them. We'll just simply ignore them. Okay, we will come back, as you know, as we cover more and more in C programming language. Like when we cover functions, we will come back what that means, what this line over here means, and when we'll cover headers and prototypes, stuff like that, we'll see what these lines mean. But for now, just ignore those lines. Let's start with the with a very simple program, which will what is a program? As I said before, a program is simply a sequence of instructions to perform a particular task or multiple tasks. And the task can be very complicated, it can be very simple. Here, let's consider a task to print a simple message. Okay, that's every time when you start a new programming language, that's what you do. You print a simple message that will give you an idea how the program in that particular language looks like. So we will just simply write a message saying, I don't know, this is a computer age. Okay, this is the computer age, or this is the information age, or something. And this is how you do it in C. This is a computer age. This is it. So this line of code, printf, which basically kind of tells the computer to print something, and this message, as in quotes, from here to here, basically tells the computer what to print. So it's just like, when in our stories, in some books, when we have to quote something that, okay, somebody said this exactly, we put it in the codes. We have to put this message in the codes to basically tell the computer to print this as is. So once you do that, once you write the program, and this our program is done here, because our task was to print a message, and we printed a message. You need to go to execute and select compile and run. What it does is basically it will compile, which means that it will convert this program from C program, from a high level language, C program or intermediate level language, it's in C program basically, into the machine language, which computer can understand and execute or run. So this option here, compile and run, or when you press F9, you just click on it, and it will basically, it's asking you to save the file, because you made any modification before you run it. You want to save it, so it's always good idea to basically save the file. So it saves it, and then it runs it. There you go. Look at this. This is what we were expecting. So it brings up a window which will basically be displaying and doing all the things that we asked it to do in the program in this particular window. Whenever you will run the program, this window will pop up, and you can see in this particular program we were intending to basically print a message, and you can see that message coming up as just the way we wrote it here. This is a computer age, and then you'll just press any key and the window will go away. So you can see this simple program written in C will basically print this message here. It's not too exciting, but at least it gives you an idea of how or what a C program looks like. We will always have these lines here in our program that we started with, and here in this part of the code, right after these braces, we will be writing the instructions to perform the task that we are trying to perform. So this concludes the introduction to C program. Please continue to watch the other videos, subsequent videos. I am sure I will be making a whole bunch of them to basically cover every aspect of C programming. Thank you so much.